Hello and welcome back once again to Critical Rocket. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at one of my favourite games at the moment, has been for the last couple of years, Mechwarrior Online by PGI, and IGP is the publisher. Just a couple of quick matches in the new Banshee 95 ton. I say new, it's been out for a little over a month now, but it's their latest mech. It's pretty heavy duty, it's only 5 ton lighter than the heaviest mech in the game so far, the Atlas. Generally in this you're just going to be seeing me run around on the maps on conquest mode, which is like a resource gathering game mode. First team to reach a certain number of resources, 750 in this case, is the victor. But you can win by killing the other team, or, well, they're the only two ways really. Kill the other team or get the number of resources required. It's probably the most tactical of the game types because it requires near constant movement on the field unless one team is particularly dominant, or you just have a team that are, well, really good. But yeah, it's interesting. This is so far pretty much the only map that utilises night vision almost exclusively. So pretty much this entire map is going to be green. This is one of the earliest maps as well. For anyone who's new, this video is hopefully going to show off some of the gameplay and just give you a better idea of what it is before you jump in and download the client. It's not all first person. You can go into a third person view, although you're really gonna want to play this in first person overall, because there's better immersion and it's easier to aim and fire. Third person's good for navigating and sort of getting used to the controls, but really you're going to want to be playing this in this mode, the in-cockpit view. Now the Banshee is the heaviest of the weight classifications, referred to as assault, and then going down you have heavy, medium and light. Assaults are the big boys of the field. They're not the fastest, but they generally have the most armour of any mech in the game. They can also be a bit more specialised as default builds. Heavies are your sort of... I don't know, I always struggle with heavies, even in the original tabletop game, but heavies, they're a bit more mobile and they can still pack quite a wallop. They're sort of a nice blend of speed and armour and firepower. Mediums are a lot quicker, but they have less armour than heavies, but they can still mount some decent sized weapons, so they're your sort of more rapid response mechs. And then you got your lights, which are your scouts, and probably the most useful in this game mode, where capturing the points is clear. This map is River City. It's one of the smallest maps in the game, if not the smallest, but it's a nice indicator of the kind of gameplay that you can see.
New target acquired.
And you got the oof, yeah, that's the effects of when you're being hit. Getting fired upon. I'm sort of in between builds at this point, so this particular Banshee is probably not the most optimized build in the world, but yeah, there you go. What do you expect from me? If you've seen any of my videos now, I'm not the most meta of players out there. This game has an incredibly high meta. If you're the kind of person on multiplayer games who is into maximising the output of damage compared to armour and ratio of those kind of customizable games that you've got out there, this one you'll really like. There's always a constantly shifting meta. Every new mech brings out a new kind of play style, even if the weapon setups end up becoming relatively similar. There's usually something you can wiggle out of a particular mech that will make it the most effective it can be on the field. I thought this would be a good map to show off first as one of my videos on the series, because you get to see the sort of urban setup, but there's this really nice sort of... you're coming up to a harbour area here, so to the right of me at the moment you've got the sort of sea going outwards, and then there's this river that goes in, hence the name of the map. You've got this large citadel structure which you can fight around. It has like a landing pad for VTOLs. Of course, anyone who's not into the 1980s BattleTech game, you don't need to have a prior knowledge of it. It helps when the company announces a new mech, you actually know what the hell it is, where they're coming from and why. But it's not necessary. I think the greatest thing about this is that it's a free-to-play title, so you know, you download it, you don't like it, you don't have to play it. But if you really enjoy it, then you know you don't have to pay a penny to keep playing. And virtually everything is obtainable. There's no mech that's only for cash. There's no special ammunition. You know, there's nothing that will give you an in-game benefit here. The only thing you can regularly buy is things like premium time, which is basically their version of getting a little bit of extra in-game money and a little bit extra XP, because grind is key in these kind of games, and that's what you end up doing primarily in any free-to-play MMO, or just any MMO in general, really. Now, you may notice that I'm getting hit a lot, but generally that's what happens with assault mechs. They're meant to take the hit, and they're meant to dish out the damage. So I'm taking quite a lot of punishment, probably more than your average heavy could ever take, and easily way more. If I was in a medium mech or a light, I would have been dead a long time ago with the hits I've been taking. But then the mobility comes into play, where a faster mech wouldn't be hit as often as this. I'm relatively slow. You probably see on the screen I'm running about 51 kph, which is very, very slow. Very few mechs will be running at this speed against other players. But as you can see, this game type's been good because my team started up there, and we've gone all the way around one side, and now we're fighting our way back up. Although the team I'm on hasn't really been capping any of the points. You can see at the top of the screen there the 5 locations. To capture them, you stand there and slowly fills up a bar. When it's blue, it's yours, and you move on to the next one. Well, as I said, there are 2 other game modes to go with it as well. There's Skirmish, which is a last man standing kind of game, and then you've got Assault, which is similar to Skirmish, but there's a base that you can capture, but it's protected by turrets, which you need to be pretty careful of, because the turrets can take you out very easily if you're not careful. It's probably, I will say, it's probably one of the biggest game's flaws is at the moment a lack of game modes. But to be fair to PGI, they have made leaps and bounds in new additions over the recent months, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them announcing new game modes in the next couple of months anyway. And until then, there is plenty of content as a new player to keep you interested, to keep going, keep battling through. I mean, this is probably, as far as official Mechwarrior games go, this is probably the one that's had the most battle mechs, and there's more coming. If you like the clans are going to be arriving on June. Yeah, I think it's 8 clan mechs, so 2 from each weight class. So if you haven't picked this up yet, you may want to have a look, check out the website, which I'll post a link to in the description. This round's starting to wrap up now. We've actually, despite not having the most points, as I said, you can win by kills. We've whittled them down. I think there's 1 left at this point, which is a sneaky little light mech who's been sort of skirting around the field. I'm pretty badly damaged. If you look at the bottom left there, you can see the little paper doll of my mech. And that isn't the shape of my mech, that's generic for everyone, but it shows you your armor locations. And the bright colour in the centre represents my internal structure. Once that's gone, my mech is down the centre one, because the engine's been destroyed and the mech is no longer usable. But you can have your arms blown off, you can have your leg blown off, you can still keep going. It all depends what your weapons are. But this is a bit of a rough and dirty sort of first video out there for people to have a look at. There is going to be a second video, and I'm just going to go over a few of the other sort of basics of the game. You'll get to see a different map as well, and it won't be in night vision, so if this one wasn't quite what you were looking for, then the second video definitely will be. Although I do die in that one. But if you're new and you've been sort of keeping an eye out, I would recommend having a look. I'm part of a guild that's called Tor, or the Art of Warfare, and if you want to check us out, I'll put the description there. We're welcoming to all players, all skill types. You know, we're not looking for anything strictly competitive. You just want to play a few friendly drops. Check us out at www.tor.net. Thanks for watching, everyone.